racing action from Thunder Mountain Speedway, and a conversation with Rich Cornell. That and more on this edition of The Race Report. Hi everyone and welcome to another edition of the Race Report. I'm Ron Hills. With last weekend's washout at Thunder Mountain Speedway, they got neither their regular Saturday night program in or the Wade Decker Memorial. That gives us more opportunity this week to look at some of the great racing action from the previous Saturday night when they had the sprint cars in. We didn't give the regular classes near as much time as we would have liked to. Tonight we can do that, and we begin with the XL 600 modified feature. On the microphone is Leon Andrus.
Out of the turn this time, here they come. Way down on the inside, Brian Maybe puts a little contact with Eric Boyd. Up on the outside, Camden Maybe going to grab that early advantage. Camden Maybe, your leader. Down on the inside is Brian Mady. Is Maybe and Mady battling 1-2. Hang on, don't do it. Doug Winhausen got out of shape. He got a couple cars to give him some contact. And Dana Davis looks like he was temporarily broke, but he's got her going. Wow, the car took a beating. One of the cars that made contact with Doug Winhausen. Caution is on the caution out here. Mady back out front. Camden Maybe up on the outside. Joe McCabe right there running third. Will Eastman running back there fourth. A.J. Miller way down on the inside with the 14J. Driver out of Fultonville, New York. Eric Boyd there with a 63. He's running fifth. Nick Chase trying to run him down with that 05X up on the outside. But your leader still Brian Mady in that 85R, the driver out of Milford, Pennsylvania. Does double duty with the 600s and the Crate Sportsman Division. See Nick Chase, his roof flap not hat. They didn't latch it. Halfway, 10 in, 10 to go. Your first feature of the night. They come by this time. 11 in, 9 to go. The XL 600cc Modifieds. Got one of the cars here in the back of the pack getting out of shape, then ends up in a stop. And Dusty Decker slowing there with a 20. And we're going to stay green. We got contact in turn 2 between Jamie France and Nick Chase Jr. And there's the caution. Single file restart. 8 laps remain. Brian Mady with a little slow restart. Green is back out. Mady back out front. McCabe right there second. Will Eastman now with a high-low switch on Camden Maybe. Can't quite pull it off. A.J. Miller going to the top side. As those three cars, second, third, and fourth. Look at this. Joe McCabe on the outside, the driver out of Castle Creek. Got his first feature win ever here earlier this year. Looking for win number 2 on the season and getting by Brian Mady on the outside. Right now, drawn away. Mady is second. Camden Maybe third. Will Eastman fourth. 5 laps to go. You can see the 4 fingers and a thumb of starter Sammy Folk out there. Got one full hand. Announced long time ago. Flagger had 2 fingers and a thumb for 5. It was tough to tell. Time running out. Well, McCabe now pulling away. Hang on. No. Keeps her going. Nice job. As we're going to stay green. Parallel sticks are up. Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go. As the 15 of Damon Henry, the driver out of Endicott, went around. He brought her back out and stayed green. It's all McCabe out front. He's got a huge lead. He's came down the elevator. He's tipped the bellhop. He's checked out. He's gone. Black and white silks are going to fly for the first time tonight. The win going to go to the 116 of Joe McCabe. Second going to go to Brian Mady, Camden Maybe, Will Eastman, A.J. Miller. They're your top 5. Then it's the 15X of Dave Baldwin Jr.
To rookie sportsman action, here again is Leon Andrus.
So as they work it into turn number 3 out of 4, here they come. Thomas Ferguson the first shows the early advantage in that number 5 up on the outside. Dayton Coney in the number 7. Kinzer Hill right there running third. Steve Walsh is fourth. Their final week to get some points before championship night next week. Cody Bishop taking away position number 4. He's looking to the inside of Dayton Coney now. He gives him a shot to try to get him out of the way. He started the season in the Open Sportsman. Thought it was too powerful for him. He came down, did the drop down after 1 week. Cody Bishop now taking the top spot away from Ferguson. Bishop, one of the guys with an open motor. Most of them run a crate motor. Started the season in the open motors. Decided he wasn't going to get enough trophies, so came into the rookie sportsman. Devin Zona on the move. His first start here at the Speedway with a big bad push on that 14Z machine. Steve Waltmer. They come by this time. 6 laps in, it's all Bishop. Thomas Ferguson the first, setting the wrong way over there in turn 4. Devin Zona up on the high side trying to work behind Coney, can't quite do it. Sean Davis now down on the inside with the 219. There goes Ferguson around over there in turn number 3 and 4. He's still there. He's still there. He might. There's the yellow. Down into 3 and out of 4 this time. White flag out. 1 to go. ESS Sprint Heats up next. Checkered flag out. The rookie sportsman feature winner going to go to Cody Bishop. Dalton Coney coming home third. Sean Davis fourth as McIntyre. Cook comes home fifth.
When we return, Leon Andrus talks with Rich Cornell. More straight ahead on this edition of The Race Report.
You're watching The Race Report on Fox 40.
30 years of satisfied customers. That's the proud history of Brush and Pallet Auto in Candor. We have a large selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here is this week's Car of the Week. We'll give you a $1,000 minimum trade-in, and we have financing options to fit your needs, including a first-time buyers program. Think you can't afford it? We think you can. Check us out at brush-pallet.com or visit us in person at 598 Owego Road in Candor, New York.
Foundation alert! Foundation alert!
Pick me! Pick me!
We don't badmouth the competition.
Huh?
We just beat them in price, quality, and customer service.
Hi, this is Craig Moss with KRM Foundation Repair. If you got water in the basements, cracked or flaking foundations, foundation walls that are falling in, Call us for a free estimate today. We're KRM Foundation Repair. Good as any, better than some.
Bye-bye.
Satico's Catholic Shop on Endicott's Washington Avenue has offered our Catholic community the finest selection of religious gifts, holy medals, rosaries, statues, and more. Visit Satico's Catholic Shop, Washington Avenue, Endicott.
Unicorn Electronics in the Valley Plaza, Johnson City has the best pricing and selection of audio, video, and computer cables in the area. Don't spend a fortune on that HDMI cable for your new HD TV or Blu-ray player. Unicorn Electronics has quality cables in the lengths you need at a price you can afford. Expanding your network, Unicorn has the patch cables and accessories to make it happen. When you need to connect, think Unicorn Electronics in the Valley Plaza, Johnson City.
Okay, we're here again at Chubby Sports Bar in Johnson City, New York. And Rich, I mean, your racing career started back quite long. I remember working the corners at 5 Mile Point when you were racing.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your racing career.
Well, I mean, really how I got started into it, went to Penn Can, saw the Tiger class run. My dad did, really, and wanted me to go racing. So I come home and chopped up a 57 Chevy that I had and had a 6-cylinder already in it, and we went racing. Yeah.
And how'd you do with the Tiger class? If I remember right, it was real good.
I started winning races right off the bat, just lucky.
Well, it's not all luck, and then it's progressed. I know you ran modified for a short time, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And
I went street stock, then went modified, until I flipped it at 5 Mile Point, and then
I remember
couldn't put it back together, so we sold her. And then went 6-cylinder late model racing after that.
Right, but now it's basically it's going with Rich. You got him involved, like he was telling me. He got involved years ago. He was in the ball sports and stuff, and he took him racing. He's got with that, and basically between all his racing and you crew chief, but you've also had a few years ago when you were building quite a lot of street stocks yourself.
Oh, yes. Yep, built a lot of them, and well, just a couple years ago I built the last 2 cars that are out there running now, and
all right, you got the car that Deinhardt has,
right,
and then he was telling me the one with Damon Decker.
Damon Decker.
I didn't realize that was even a different car than his dad had. So.
Yep.
So but like I was asking James about the you setting the car up. He says you guys basically can do it now without him hardly saying a whole lot, because you know how he likes to race.
Right.
And what he does when he comes in and you tell him, yes, a little tight or a little loose, and you already know that ahead of time. So,
right.
And
I mean, it's been that way now for the last few years, because, I always check with him what he thinks.
Right.
But I also know what I see, and that's what I'm going to change the car for.
Now, during the week, though, you pretty much probably take this car almost half apart and go through it from nuts to bolts, right?
As soon as it comes home from the racetrack, it goes on jack stands. The wheels, tires come off it, and most of the body comes off it. And then the boys, both James and Tom, work on the car, and I tell them what I want done, and they help me.
Right, and part of the deal is like you go to different tracks. You hear a lot of people say, "Well, why don't that car break?" or "Why does this car always break?" And the answer you tell them is you got to do the maintenance at home. Once you get to the racetrack, the maintenance should already be done.
Right.
Unless you have something happen during the night.
Right.
But the maintenance, you should unload the car and it should be ready to go.
Right. When we laugh at people, shouldn't. We get to the racetrack, we back the car out, and we sit there and watch everybody else working on the race car. And usually is all I have to do when we get to the racetrack is spray the Heims and set the air pressures, and we're ready to go.
Right. Unless you get a rainstorm or something, then you might adjust how you got the car set up. But other than that, when you unload it, it should be ready to go.
Yes,
I've always said that, so that's part of the game, and that's what keeps it going up front. So another thing that he was actually telling me, I asked him how many wins he had, and he said 97.
Right.
And he says that he's looking to try to retire when he gets to 100. I said, well, that could be this year.
All right. Yeah. Everybody's been bugging me on it because I said I would retire after 100 wins, but maybe we'll just have to retire from this class and move on to something else. Who knows?
Right. Like I said, I asked him about the 5 wins that he has at 5 Mile Point in different race cars. And so if he had a chance to race something else, what do you think he'd like to race?
I think he'd like to, well, it's 2 classes really, late model or modified again.
Right. Because I asked him what he liked the best of all the classes he ran. He said locally he really likes the IMCA because of the hard tires that brings it back to the driver.
Right.
And he said he liked the late model the best of anything he drive. But I asked him if there was anything he knew he'd like to drive. And he said he'd like to drive a sprint car. His mother probably wouldn't like him to drive it.
Right. Him and I talked sprint car a few times, but Mama don't want to see it.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's a whole new challenge, like I said, because now you got to get that right foot and the right wheel all to work together. But I think it would be a great challenge for him. So.
Well, I think he would do good in it because he's a very smooth driver for me. I mean, when I first put him in a race car, the first couple of weeks, I said, I don't know if this kid's going to make it, as a driver. And he's just phenomenal now. I mean, he's smooth, knows how to use the throttle.
Well, that's no, especially in these cars. I mean, that's a big deal. You got to be able to control the car. And I mean, you can see it week after week, no matter what track I see him go at.
Right.
You got great throttle control, and like I said, now you as the person that basically sets it up. I mean, they all help doing it, but I'm sure they give you the last say on it.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, I make the choice, what we're going to do.
When you look at it, you go to, say you went to a new track that you haven't went to, so you don't have no notes on it.
Right.
What would be the first thing you would do when you got to a new track? Is look at the track
I would look at
itself?
the surface, just see if it's going to be a bitey surface to start with, or if it's going to be slippery looking surface,
And then you adjust
from
according to
there
that.
and go out and try it. And then once you're out there, and then you're definitely going to be making some changes probably.
Right. Because with these cars, obviously your tire isn't gonna. You're not gonna do nothing different with the tire. The tire is what you got.
Right.
So.
Right.
Now, is the shock package in one of these cars, are they easy to change around, or is it pretty much stuck where it is?
No, they're pretty easy. I mean, you run just about any shock as long as they don't have a Schrader valve in them. But you can. There's so many different shock packages. There's things to try. I mean, our trailer's probably got 10 shocks in it besides the 4 that's on the car. And they just lay there anymore because we just tried a new shock package just lately, and when the car came to life, and they make such a big difference.
Now, let me ask you this. You don't have to say which ones because people might not need to know that, but like between I-88 and 5 Mile where he's running pretty regular, do you change the gear ratio in that car between those two tracks?
A little bit. Between heat and feature, yeah, but I mean, basically same gear for both tracks pretty much.
You do change it around some. So,
I mean, that's a big thing because they went to the quick change in IMCA this year, which I think has helped us a great deal.
Right, because they didn't used to run the quick change, so you're pretty much, you had to guess ahead of time and stay with it unless you really wanted to do a lot of work at the track. So, as your season progressed, I know Tom even got into it for a short period of time.
Right.
You had him race. I remember when I was at Pencan, you had him racing for a little while. Now, was that something he just didn't want to do anymore and he got out of it?
Well, the biggest problem with that is I was trying to own and maintain 2 cars, and I was taking time away from James's car to, working on Tom's car, or vice versa sometimes.
Right.
And I just couldn't do it. And owning them and be able to keep them repairs done, I just couldn't do it with 2 cars, especially with modified and pro stock.
That's what they were running at that time.
Yeah.
So now, as the season starting to wind down here, what are you looking for the end of season with? Do you just, or I guess I want to say as he goes out every night. I guess you're always setting the car up, and we're always figuring on winning. Is that what the goal is? And you take what you get, obviously, but you still always go out and win.
Right.
Not looking, let's go out and get a top 5 or let's go out and get a top 10.
No, I mean, when I go to racetrack, I expect to win, But, I mean, you take what you get, like you said. But, I expect to be top 3.
Right now, Gary Smith, who basically partners or team cars, basically, the Smith Racing team now, do you give him a lot of the same ideas that he runs, or are their driving styles totally different?
The driving styles are totally different, and Gary's been having a little trouble lately, fighting with the car. So a couple weeks ago we had a little get-together and powwow, and told him exactly what was in our car, everything, and he was going to try it. He got better, but yet he's still not happy. But that shows you that there's a lot of difference between drivers and a setup.
I mean, there's no question of driving style. Some a little more finesse, some are a little more heavier on the pedal the whole time, and I'm not, I was saying either way, but that's part of what the deal is. So I guess other than that, we've covered pretty much all I wanted to cover. Is there anything you wanted to say to the audience while we got you here?
I don't really believe so. I mean,
All right. Well, we appreciate for coming down tonight, and we'll be back to Ron after another quick commercial.
All right, and I thank you.
You're watching the Race Report on Fox 40.
.1 The Hawk, number 1 for 20 in a row.
This is Jason Aldean.
Hot new country.
This is Luke Brown.
And kiss tomorrow goodbye.
This is Charles, Dave,
and Hillary.
And we are
Lady Annabella. And I don't know why you don't take me downtown anymore.
Binghamton's hot new country.
This is Carrie Underwood. Every tear sucked whiskey, memory blown away.
Binghamton's hot new country. 98.1 The Hawk.
30 years of satisfied customers. That's the proud history of Brush and Pallet Auto in Candor. We have a large selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Here is this week's Car of the Week. We'll give you a $1,000 minimum trade-in, and we have financing options to fit your needs, including a first-time buyers program. Think you can't afford it? We think you can. Check us out at brush-pallet.com or visit us in person at 598 Owego Road in Candor, New York.
For 3 generations, we've been building world-class American performance.
Like the new Edelbrock Power Package Top-End Kit, based on Edelbrock's powerful RPM crate engines. Each kit includes aluminum heads and intake, cam and lifters, gaskets, and hardware to build your own 400-plus horsepower Chevy small block. For 3 generations, it's pure American performance from the leader. Call now for your free Edelbrock catalog.
Edelbrock makes them right here in the USA.
Welcome back to the Race Report. Coming up this weekend is one of my favorite weekends of the season because it's the Central New York Hall of Fame reunion at the old Mid-State Speedway in Morris, New York. Inductees this Sunday will include Mike Colston, Bucky Dew, Tommy Williams, Bruce Winton, Cal Lane, and Frank Mathalia. This year it becomes a 2-day event, but the Hall of Fame inductions remain on Sunday at 1 p.m. That's the Otsego County Fairgrounds in Morris, New York. This weekend, Thunder Mountain Speedway wraps up their point championships on Saturday night, and Skyline Raceway says goodbye to their season with the running of the annual Turbo Blue. Thunder Mountain will end their year next Sunday, September 27th, with the rescheduled Wade Decker Memorial. For more information, log on to thundermtnspeedway.com. We leave you with highlights from last weekend at Thunder Mountain Speedway. For the entire staff of the Race Report, thanks for watching. Till next week, I'm Ron Hills, and I'll see you at the races.
Out of the turn they come. Green is out. Chris Stahl, your leader. Ryan Jordan looking way down on the inside. Colton Wilson right there, third. Kenny Titus on the outside, fourth. Wilcox trying to thread a needle between Spoonhour and Cook. Mikey Nagel with a good move. Butch Green getting a piece of Bob Henry. Oh my. Way up on the outside. Kenny Titus looking for some racing room with the 9. Spoonhour down on the bottom with the 34. And here comes Colton Wilson to the inside of Titus. And Chad Cook 3 wide on the outside.
Well, Chad Cook working that high groove right now. He has moved up to the 3 spot. Wilson and Titus continue to battle for position number 4. Into turns 3 and 4 works your field. It's Stoll out in front. Jordan's still there for a second, but Cook rapidly gaining on your top 2.
Cook out of turn number 4, still working that high side. Putting pressure on Ryan Jordan now to take that second spot away. Going to keep the momentum. Chris Stahl staying glued to the bottom. Here comes Wilcox now trying to work underneath the 42 of Colton Wilson. That's for position 4. Green back out this time. Chris Stahl not getting biffed on the start, but Chad Cook got that car working up on the top side. He's going to take that top spot momentarily as they come out of the short chute out of turn number 4. It's still Cook, your new leader now. Bob Henry right now 8th, 9th belongs to the 9 of Kenny Titus, rounding out your top 10, Brian Malcolm.
Into turns 3 and 4. It is all Chad Cook in this one. Chris Stoll still back there in the 2 spot. And then Rachinsky still trying to make the outside lane feasible here into turn number 1 as we've got 22 in. Rachinsky now, he may have a shot down the backstretch. Side by side, they work into turns 3 and 4. And it looks like we got one slow over in turn number 4. Field off the turn. Rachinsky's got the spot. Jordan falls back in position. And now cars coming together all over. And we are yellow again.
Out there. 2 less of 2 dozen on the lap counter. Green is out. And we're back racing Rachinsky on the outside, trying to get that momentum up. Wanted to get a twofer, still trying to get around Ryan Jordan. Got a good run through 3 and 4 that time. Looks like he's third at the stripe. Will he have enough to close in on high flying Chad Cook? Stay tuned, we'll find out in a half a dozen laps.
So it's Cook, Stoll still second, Jordan and Rachinsky battling there for third. Rachinsky's got it by a whisker that time as they come across the stripe. Back at it now, Rachinsky got up alongside of Stoll, couldn't find it. Into 3, he'll stay up on the wild side. Stoll's kind of hanging there through the middle. Then you've got Ryan Jordan down low as they come to the 5 to go sign.
Rachinsky got a momentum out of turn 2 that time down the backstretch. Chris Stahl there, and here comes Ryan Jordan back down underneath. Battle right there for 2, 3, 4. Billy Spoonhour still 5th, Brent Wilcox 6th. Mahaney 7th. Kenny Titus is 8th. Butch Green. Brett Tonkin now looking to go 3 wide on the inside for that 9th spot.
So it's all Chad Cook here in this one. But throw a blanket over that battle for the 2 spot. Stoll, Rachinsky, and Jordan there. Now Rachinsky comes down a lane, pulls up to the back bumper of Stoll with 2 laps to go. So Rachinsky's going to try it again on the outside as they work through turns 1 and 2. Can he get a run on Stoll down the back straightaway?
Final lap, white flag coming out for Chad Cook. 3 wide here for second, third, and fourth. Ryan Jordan on the inside, Rachinsky on the outside. Jordan down on the middle. That's the battle. 2, 3, 4. Cook easily going to get the win. Coming home second, Nick Rachinsky, Chris Stahl, Ryan Jordan, Billy Spoonhour, Brent Wilcox, Mike Mahaney, Kenny Titus, Brett Tonkin, Brian Malcolm, Butch Green. There they are.